Hey there, watchers. It's Whitey from Born to Watch, and today we're going to be ranking the Star Wars movies. Now, the Star Wars franchise has a very special place in my heart. This is where my love of cinema began. Now, we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to work our way to the top, and it's a long list, so bear with me, guys. So at number 11 is Attack of the Clones. Terrible movie. Looks like a video game. There's actually one bit when C-3PO and R2-D2 on Geonosis, it actually looks like a multi-level video game. It's terrible. There's some of the worst acting in all the Star Wars universe in this movie. Hayden Christensen is woefully out of his depth. It's just not a good movie. George Lucas, leave the script writing to someone else. Probably leave the directing to someone else as well. Just not great. Number 10, The Last Jedi. Rian Johnson, why did you try to destroy the Star Wars universe? You went off on such a tangent with this movie, it almost brought the whole thing down to the ground. Thank God Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni saved it with Mandalorian. I don't have much to say about The Last Jedi, except it was abysmal. I was lost, and for a guy that knows a little bit about Star Wars, it lost me. Please, never, ever direct or have anything to do with another Star Wars franchise again. Stick to Knives Out, pal. Number 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, J.J. Abrams was brought in to fix the mess that was the movie before. And he did his best, but still, we don't need to see the Emperor again. We don't need to see him brought back. We don't need to see some love affair between Rey and Kylo. We don't need this stuff. You're falling flat. Bad movie. I really didn't like the sequel trilogy at all. Number 8, Solo. I actually didn't mind this movie. Ron Howard came in and cleaned up a mess. It was a bit here and there, but still, it was good to actually see a bit of the youth of Han Solo. Wasn't by any means a great Star Wars movie, but it didn't deserve the panning that it got. I'll tell you what, it's way better than almost every single movie that was done in the sequel trilogy. Number 7, The Phantom Menace. Now, I don't think there's ever been a movie I've anticipated more in my life than this. And I'll tell you what, it let me down. I waited up late. I watched it with a huge group of mates. I really wanted to love this movie. And don't get me wrong, there were some great parts to this. The lightsaber duels, Darth Maul were all great. The pod race, great. But geez, I was let down by some bad things. Midi-chlorians. Come on, George, please. Midi-chlorians. Jar Jar Binks. The whole Gungan thing. They could have gone on a way better story exploring Darth Maul more, and they just didn't. Miss the boat big time here. Number 6, The Force Awakens. Again, hugely anticipated, but I was a bit more skeptical this time around. And I should have been. It's just a rewrite of the first movie. It's a rewrite of episode 4. It's a carbon copy movie, and that's what's disappointing. They had a real opportunity here to go into something fresh. Be fan service, but do it right. Like what Top Gun Maverick did this year. Don't cater to the dumb masses. Don't cater to the kids. Think of the fans. Think of what they'd want to see. We want original content. We just won't want the same movie with some of the old characters in it to make it feel nostalgic. Look, it's not a bad movie. I enjoyed it. But again, they missed an opportunity here to do something really special. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting, and this is where I'm going to get probably a few blow-ups. Return of the Jedi. Now, I love Return of the Jedi, don't get me wrong, but it's not a great film. The Ewoks, great again. George sold a ton of merchandise, really good on paper, but they just don't pull it off. It's actually not great. There's parts of it, again, which are amazing. The Death Star fight at the end, all the stuff at the start in Jabba's palace is excellent. But really, that Endor battle with the Stormtroopers and the Ewoks really lets it down. Number 4, and I never thought a movie in any other trilogy would get this high, Revenge of the Sith. Now, this actually is a good story, and there's some good acting in this movie. Hayden Christensen is still out of his depth, but he's saved by Obi-Wan Kenobi, big time. Ewan McGregor saves this movie. He put some real heart and soul into this. And the battle on Mustafar is great. Okay, down to the top 3. And at number 3, Rogue One. What a great movie. To say I was hugely skeptical of this would be an understatement. Again, another midnight screening, but this time I worked out of there going, holy crap, what a movie. They crushed it. To see the beginnings of the rebellion, which they've since now expanded on with Andor, it was great. New characters, mixed in with some old, and holy shit, that scene with Darth Vader at the end is one of the best scenes in the whole franchise. Well done. We're down to the top 2 here, and it could be either one of these on any day. But I'm going to go for the best movie at number 1. So in number 2, it's the original, Episode 4, Star Wars. Now, this movie began my love affair with movies. This is a movie that I watch multiple times a year still today. I must have seen this over 250 times. I love it. I can almost recite it word for word. John Williams' score is unbelievable. What a great movie. The story behind it, the faith that he had, what he was able to do on a shoestring is incredible and delivered what is now one of the greatest franchises in the history of cinema. Now that leaves number 1, Empire Strikes Back. It took what he did in the first movie and just doubled down. A much darker, deeper, richer story. And the fact that it ends on a cliffhanger and we don't know what's going on was amazing. The whole Luke, I am your father, it's just blew everyone away at the time. And still today, I remember watching it with my daughter. She had no idea. And the response from her was out of this world. Well done. One of the greatest sequels ever made. There's no doubt. So that's my rankings of the Star Wars movies. That was really hard, actually. I didn't really know where I was going to go with it until I started to pen it down. And I'm sure that that top 6 or 7 could change very, very easily. I hope you enjoyed my rankings. And if you're liking what you see, just subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell as well. And if you want to hear some more, check out the Born to Watch podcast on all good podcast platforms. And you can hear a little bit more from me and my 2 buffheads that I chat movies with as well. Bye for now.